Dear viewers, welcome to our GS Bank Academy. Today, I am going to discuss about Limitation Act 1963. This is very useful topic for JIB, CIB and promotional exams. Every suit instituted, started or appeal prepared and application made after the prescribed period shall be dismissed by the court. So, during the period of limitation and valid enforcement of document period only, suit is going to be filed or appeal is going to be prepared and application made before the respective courts. So, limited within the period of limitation only, you have to file the case. Recovery of debts due to Banks and Financial Institution Act (DRT). Recovery of debt dues to Banks and Financial Institution 1993 Act. So, under DRT Act also, if you want to file a case before DRT, the document must be within the limitation. And same manner, if bank want to initiate action under SARFAESI Act 2002, Securitization Act 2002 also state that within the limitation period only, the bank can initiate Securitization Act and under SARFAESI Act 2002. And IBC Code 2016, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016 also specifically state that actions under those acts are permissibly only if the claim is within the period of limitation. So, under DRT Act, SARFAESI Act and IBC Code 2000, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016, this the bank has to initiate action within the limitation period. DRT Act 1993, SARFAESI Act 2002, IBC Insolvency Bankruptcy Code 2016. Also, if bank want to initiate action within the limitation period only, the bank has to initiate action. The period of limitation is always in relation to your document. The period of limitation for each document is stated in the Limitation Act 1963, which entitles the beneficiary to take action in a court of law within that limitation period. So, Limitation Act specifically says that limitation period for each document. At the time of computation of calculation of period of limitation period, the following points are going to be excluded. Computation period of limitation, the following 5 points are going to be excluded for the calculation of limitation period. What are the things? The day from which such period is to be reckoned shall be excluded. Means the date of document, the day from which such period is to be reckoned shall be excluded. Means for the calculation of limitation period, the date of document is going to be excluded. After that, the limitation period you have to start calculate. That is called the day from which such period is to be reckoned shall be. Date of document is going to be excluded for the purpose of calculation of limitation period. Number 1. Number 2, the day on which judgment was pronounced. In a court, any judgment was pronounced and the order was given, the day of that judgment pronounced was excluded for the calculation of limitation period in that orders. Number 3, closure of courts. So, for filing of limitation in the court of law, any closure of courts are there. Court was closed because of holidays, any other reasons. Automatically, the closure of courts period is going to be extended the limitation for the filing of limitation by the banks. So, this is also one important point we have to take. Automatically, closure of courts are going to be extended the limitation. The institution means starting or execution of which has been stayed by any injunction or order. So, any filing of suit or execution of the order which has been stayed by any court injunction or order is there, that is also we have to exclude for the purpose of calculation of limitation. Institution or execution which has been stayed by injunction or order of the court, that is also. Last point, the time during which the dependent borrower has been absent from India. The time, so when the borrower was absent from India, that period was also excluded for the purpose of calculation of limitation period. So these are the 5 points you have to take into consideration at the time of calculation of limitation period of a document. Normally, they are asking in the examination, this the day from which such period is reckoned, means date of documentation shall be excluded. Second question they are asking in the examination, the time during which the defendant has been absent from India, that is also excluded. And the closure of, sometimes they are asking closure of course. Closure of course automatically that is going to extend the limitation. This is about the limitation. Acts giving right to fresh period or extension of limitation. The following points are going to increase the limitation period or extend the limitation period. What are there? Section 18 of Limitation Act 1963. Section 18 of Limitation Act 1963. Effect of acknowledgement in writing by the borrower before the expiry of the limitation period. In the borrowing accounts, party is acknowledging in writing before the expiry period of limitation, that is also automatically extend the period of limitation. So, acknowledgement in writing by the borrower before the expiry of the limitation automatically extend the limitation period. Number 2. Section 19 regarding payment on account of loan or interest, debt or loan. Section 19 of the Limitation Act, effect of payment on account of debt or interest, where payment on account of principal or interest is made by the borrower before the expiration of the prescribed limitation. So during the period of limitation, any amount paid by the borrower towards loan amount or interest amount, automatically the limitation period is going to be extended. Fresh period of limitation shall be computed from the time when the payment was made. Again, from the date of that payment, we are going to start the fresh limitation period. So, section 19, effect of part payment in debt or interest before the expiration. This is important. Before the expiry of the prescribed limitation period, then it is going to be extended the limitation period. Section 20, effect of acknowledgement or payment by another person on behalf of the borrower. Section 20, effect of acknowledgement of debt or payment by another person or duly authorized agent also will extend the limitation. So, effect of acknowledgement by the document or payment by another person or duly authorized agent of the borrower, that also will extend the limitation period. So, section 18, acknowledgement in writing before the expiry of the limitation period. Section 19, payment in the loan account before the expiry of the limitation period will also extend the limitation, fresh limitation from that day. Section 20, effect of acknowledgement or payment by another person, the another person or duly authorized agents of the borrower also will extend the limitation. These 3 acts are going to extend the limitation. Revival of limitation period which has expired. So already the limitation in a documentation, the limitation period has expired. The limitation period has expired. Now in that case, we can take the acknowledgement from the borrower as per Indian Contract Act 1872, section 25, subsection 3. Agreement without consideration is void unless it is in writing and registered, or is a promise to compensate for something done. Now our point is this: is a promise to pay a debt borrowed by limitation. Also, if a borrower is extending agreement without consideration, borrower can acknowledge the debt, even the time barred debt also. That means even in the time barred document also, borrower can execute a fresh promise to pay a debt in time barred limitation. Also extend the limitation. For that promise to pay a debt time barred by limitation, consideration is not required. This question also they are asking in the examination. For execution of a promise to pay a debt barred by limitation, consideration is required? No, consideration is not required. But it must be in writing and registered. That's why this section 25(3) is also in connection with the revival of limitation period which has expired. The party has to fresh promise, means fresh set of documentation or freshest of execution to pay a debt barred by limitation, party has to give. Limitation Act 1963, periods of limitation. Limitation Act 1963, for various documents it has given a periods of limitation. Discretion of suit, period of limitation, time from which period begins to run. For money lent under an agreement that shall be payable on demand. Money lent by the bank under an agreement that it shall be payable on demand. Money payable on demand. Period of limitation is 3 years from the date of that loan. When the loan is made, means from the date of that loan, 3 years is the limitation period. When money lent shall be payable on demand, 3 years. Demand promissory note, DPN, demand promissory note, comma, hypothecation in the cash credit documents. Hypothecation in cash credit document, cash credit facilities. Limitation period is 3 years. Time from which the period begins to run is from the date of document execution, 3 years. So in the case of DPN, demand promissory note and hypothecation, in the cash credit loan documents, limitation period is 3 years. Term loan or bond payable by installments. Payable by installments. 3 years is the limitation period from due date of each individual installment. 3 years is for each individual installment due, the limitation period starts. So this is very important. Term loan, bond payable by installments. Limitation period is 3 years. From due date of each individual installment, 3 years. This question they are asking in so many examinations. Pledge, where loan given sanctioned by bank against pledge of goods, or lien against paper security, loan given sanctioned against paper security, and right of set off. Exercise of right of set off by the bankers. What is the period of limitation? No limitation period. For a pledge, lien and right of set up by the banker, no limitation period. On a bill of exchange, NI Act section 5, on a bill of exchange payable at sight, means demand bill or after sight, but not a fixed time, means it is a demand bill or sight bill. What is the limitation period? 3 years when the bill is presentation. From the date of presentation of the bill for payment, 3 years. On a bill of exchange, payable at sight or after sight, but not at a fixed time, means it is a demand bill. 3 years when the bill is presented. On a bill of exchange or a promissory note, means usance promissory note. Bill of exchange is a usance bill of exchange, or a promissory note, always usance promissory note. Payable at a fixed time. Payable after a fixed time. It may be after sight or after demand. 3 years when the fixed time expires. So after the usance period is expired, 3 years. From the date of expiry of the usance period as mentioned in the bill of exchange or promissory note, 3 years. On a bill of exchange, NI Act Section 5, promissory note NI Act Section 4, payable at a fixed time means payable after some fixed usage time period, after sight or after demand, 3 years when the fixed time expires. This is about the. Now, by a mortgagee means banker, by a mortgagee banker. In a mortgage, by a mortgagee for foreclosure of the mortgage, period of limitation is 30 years. When the 30 years, when the money secured by the mortgage becomes due, from the date of mortgage money becomes due, 30 years. This is the period of limitation. By a mortgagee, by a bank, for portion of immobile property mortgage. By a mortgage means banker for portion of immobile property mortgage to the bank. What is the limitation period? 12 years. When the mortgage becomes, when the banker becomes entitled to take a portion of the property. To take the portion of the property, 12 years. That is the mortgagee for portion of immobile property mortgage. 12 years from the mortgagee bank entitled to take the portion. Execution of a court decree, 12 years from its due date. From the date of its issue, 12 years. Limitation period under bank guarantee when government is the beneficiary. In a letter of guarantee, government is the beneficiary. What is the limitation period? 30 years from the period when limitation begins. From the date of limitation starts, 30 years. Recovery of loss caused by fraud. Recovery of loss caused by fraud. 3 years from the date of fraud detected, noticed, 3 years. Recovery of loss caused by fraud, 3 years from the date of fraud detected. These are some of the periods of limitation as per Limitation Act 1963. In some examination, in addition to these periods of limitation, they are also asking some questions on the limitation. What is the limitation period for filing of cases under Consumer Protection Act? Consumer Protection Act, that is 2 years from the date of cause of action. Filing of cases under Consumer Protection Act, limitation period is 2 years from the date of cause of action. That is one question normally they are asking. What is the limitation period under Garnish Order? Garnish Order, Civil Procedure Code, 12 years from the date of order. Third one is for income tax attachment order, what is the limitation period? That question also they are asking, 30 years. For income tax attachment order, 30 years. That is third one. Fourth one is, what is the limitation period for filing, for referring cases under Bankers Ombudsman? Limitation period for filing or referring a case to Bankers Ombudsman, 1 year plus 1 month party has to wait from the date of complaint with the bank. So these are the questions and asking from the Limitation Act from various examination. Thank you very much for all the viewers for extending support to our channel. Thank you very much for all.